Israel's intelligence agency has pulled its negotiators out of Qatar after talks to secure a new truce in the conflict reached an impasse. The Hamas-run Health Ministry says almost 200 people have been killed since the fighting restarted.
There's a smoky haze that envelops southern Gaza now. The aerial bombardment of cities like Khan Yunis is relentless. When there is a break, they move. They're heading further south, a procession of people picking their way through what is now a battlefield from the north to the south of the Strip. Donkey-drawn carts navigate their way around rubble and battle-scarred roads. A steady stream of people moving once again. There is little sanctuary to be found here. Time and again, people ask how Israel's interactive map to find safety can actually work in this environment. Mohammed Reyes says he used the map. He moved and then got bombed.
Look at this leaflet. How can you bomb civilians in their homes? You're telling people that Wadi al-Saga is safe. How come you bomb there? At least warn people before you bomb us. They've bombed 3 or 4 houses. They've displaced people. Why?
The airstrikes are often huge, destroying buildings, shaking whole neighbourhoods. They're Israeli targets for sure. The problem is, it's where people live. Into the rubble they go, searching for the living and the dead. This is a constant, just like the airstrikes. A survivor, dazed and covered in dust, makes his way into one of the medical facilities still attempting to function properly. This man and little boy are treated for their wounds. They're amongst the luckiest of the injured. But those are faces of pure trauma and shock, and that doesn't just go away. The most serious are rushed through the crowds, bundled into cars. Hospitals can barely cope. The numbers of dead rises every day. The Hamas-controlled Health Ministry says 70% of fatalities are women and children. Whatever, doctors on the front line say it is a disaster.
The pressure on the hospital with the number of patients and injuries has doubled. The situation is catastrophically bad. There are no beds for the patients. We have to treat the patients on the hospital floor as there are no beds to put them on.
People are short of everything. Aid supplies initially stopped have entered Gaza, but it's a trickle, nowhere near enough. The ceasefire had helped. It's gone. The war has resumed, and so many hostages remain captive. At the permanent vigil for the hostages in Tel Aviv, pictures of those now confirmed dead still look down on people who have come to pay their respects. They're desperate for any good news here, but Israel has pulled its negotiating team from Qatar for now. Well, it's clear now that this whole thing broke down because Hamas couldn't or wouldn't provide the names of 10 women and or children who were alive. And so the war started again. Now, the real or only hope for optimism now is that the chief negotiators in Qatar and Egypt can do as they say and get this whole process back on track. The IDF says that its operations continue in the north and are developing in the south. They've released these pictures of soldiers moving through the ruins. The campaign to oust Hamas goes on.
The Israelis will never stand for a situation that they had until October 7th, where Hamas terrorists are directly on the border and can rush through and kill our people at will. That's not a situation we're going to return to, and there will have to be security arrangements on the ground that prevent that from happening.
Most people have come from the north and are having to move yet again. In reality, though, there's not much further south they can go. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Israel.